How do you mark the end of summer? Is it when the kids go back to school? When the leaves turn red, orange, yellow? Or is it marked by fewer tourists and seasonal residents in your favorite places? In the Pacific Northwest, where we can pretty much count the days of summer on two hands, the blackberries have heavy scent that seems to hang in the air. Most trees are at least half red, orange, and yellow, and the activity at our local fiber stores picks up. At Barmaid's, the end of summer is marked by the flood of requests for fall scents. The favorites, Betty Boo, Little Pumpkin, Hot Toddy, and the exclusive scent for Jimmy Bean's wool, Queen's Bun, are now in season. Barmaid's also has 3 new fall scents that are sure to be big hits. Deep Forest is a warm, rich bayberry scent. Spiced Fig can only be described as clove-stuffed fruit, complex, but brings feeling of being safe, secure, and loved. You can also get the Lolo Body Bar and To-Go Bar in Winter's Bliss, which invokes a mild sweetness with faint, fresh evergreens. How do you mark the end of summer? Order an in-season scent from Barmaids and transition to fall.
Hi everybody, thanks so much for joining me today. I have a lot to share with you today. I know that's what happens when I don't record for 2 weeks. But I kind of feel discombobulated a little bit today. I don't know why. Well, Cody's going to start with the scratching already. I don't know why I'm feeling a little bit discombobulated. I think it's because I've been doing a lot of computer work the last few weeks, and I'll get into all that shortly, but hopefully my kind of mood or what have you will change during this podcast. I want to start with thank yous, as always. I want to thank Nancy and Lori for their donations to the podcast in the last few weeks. Thank you very, very much. I want to remind everybody that anytime you click that donate button on the blog and donate your hard-earned dollars to the podcast, it does go back into the podcast in one form or another, either through prizes or shipping charges or just equipment, what have you, whatever is necessary. So thank you very, very much. And I also want to thank all of those people who bought my pattern, the mystery cow that just started on the 29th. It's because of all of you that I have so much to show to you this week. If that's a little hint about what is to come. I did a little shopping of my own. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, I think it was the last time I podcast, that my stash enhancements and whatnot were going to be at a minimum because I am trying to pay off my school loans. But I decided that any money that I receive from pattern sales is going to go into my kind of stash budget. So I did a little bit of stash enhancement in the last few weeks that I will show you later in the show today. So thank you all for purchasing that pattern, and I'm really excited to see so many people participating in the knit along as well. I am enjoying the chatter over on the chatter thread and whatnot. But again, I'll get into all that later when we talk about the knit alongs. So what's been happening with me the last couple weeks? Well, I got the painting done in the bedroom, thank goodness. Well, I actually knew that it wasn't going to take me that long to complete. Usually when I want to do a project, I just power through, many hours as I can in a row and try and get it done. I can't remember now how long it actually took me. I think it took me about a week. I think I started it on one weekend and I finished it. I did a little bit here and there through the week, and then I finished it up on the following weekend. I couldn't do as much as I wanted during the week because I had activities in the evenings, a couple evenings and whatnot. But I did finish it up the following weekend and it's done. Now, we still do need base molding and stuff like that, which will be painted later, but at least the room is painted and we can start putting things back. Although we're now talking about getting new flooring for in there, so that might end up pushing things back a little bit further. But we also have to put the closet doors on, which now Steve is going to build, so who knows how long that's going to take for him to build the doors. We were just going to buy doors, and he was going to cut them down because the closet is not a full height ceiling, so we have to have shorter doors. I think the doors are going to be like, I don't know, about 5 feet, I think. So now he's going to build the doors, which is probably not, in our best interest. But I think they'll look a lot nicer if he builds them. I just hope that he gets motivated to do that. Maybe now that the weather is, getting cooler and he's not going to be out in the yard or going on the motorcycle as much, maybe he'll be motivated to get out in his workshop and do some woodworking. We do have a heated garage, so that should be no reason why he should not go out there with the weather getting colder. So we'll see how that goes. What else has been going on? Well, you may have noticed today, I'm hoping that you've noticed some quality improvement with the podcast. The last few weeks, I have been doing an enormous amount of testing and retesting and whatnot of different softwares, different compression softwares, different editing softwares, and I think I have finally found a new format to edit the podcast in and compress the podcast. In addition to that, I have purchased some more additional studio lighting. So that's supposed to help with the video quality. And on top of that, now today you won't see this, but I have also purchased a new camera. I have a new friend. Her name is Ariana. And she does the Quilt Moxie podcast. And I'm hoping that you get to meet her in the next episode. But we've been doing a lot of chatting over the last few weeks, and between what things that she's told me and research that I've done on my own, I have come to the conclusion that I wanted a new camera. And because I had a little bit of extra cash in my PayPal account because of all the pattern sales, I decided to splurge a bit and I ordered a new camera. Now, it's probably not going to arrive until Monday, so you're not going to see any improvement from that during this podcast. But with the software and the new software that I'm using and the compression software plus the additional lighting, you should see at least a bit of improvement during this podcast. And because of all this information that I've learned over the last couple of weeks, I am planning on doing a complete tutorial on how to get started on a podcast or what equipment. And I've just started making my list, and it's going to be either a full podcast with everything, or I might have to break it up into like little lessons. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with that or how I'm going to handle it, but I am working on it. So if you are thinking about starting a podcast or just want some more information about that, that is going to be coming hopefully before the end of the year, because now that all this information is in my head, I want to get it out there before I forget it all, because I know that's what happens. A lot of times you do all this research and then you've figured all your processes out, and then it kind of becomes second nature. And then when somebody asks you, oh, what did you do? What do you use? Whatever. Sometimes you forget, like especially starting the podcast and getting, the steps on, the blog and whatnot. Anyway, I am working on a tutorial for that, and that is to come, like I said, hopefully by the end of the year. What else? Well, I've been watching Doctor Who, and I finally get it. I started watching Doctor Who a few months ago, and I'm watching the, like, I guess the current series. I understand there's a classic series. I did not go back and watch the classic series. I did notice that it is now on Netflix, but I started watching the, I don't even know what year it started, but the current series. And I just the first season, a lot of the episodes were very, cheesy, and I thought, this is crazy. I don't know, I don't get it. And Kimberly from the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit podcast kind of encouraged me, just keep going, keep going. The first season is not really the greatest, but it gives you background to what's going on. So I plowed through the first season, and it took me a while because, like I said, some of the episodes were kind of cheesy, and, especially like the one with the aliens that unzipped their head. That I thought that was just kind of weird. And then even the Daleks. The first episode with the Daleks, I was like, okay, this is kind of like 1970-ish. But I plowed through it, and I'm now on season 4, and I'm actually really enjoying it now. Still, a couple of the episodes are kind of like, okay, that seems kind of 1970-ish, but most of the episodes are pretty good, and I am really enjoying it. So thanks, Kimberly, for pushing me through and encouraging me to keep going with it. Okay, now that I've jabbered on a bit about general life and what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, let's get into the knitting. This week, again, have not worked on the crochet kitty. I know, I just need to do it. I mean, really, I think I have 2 arms and the little neck thing, and a tail, I think, to do. I just haven't done it. I really just need to do it, but again, it's something that needs a little bit of concentration, and I just haven't had, a time period that I am not doing something else. I'm either watching a TV program or podcast or something, and I just haven't taken the time to do it. And I think that if I just sit down and just focus on that for an hour or 2, I can get it done. I just haven't done it. Hopefully, in the next couple weeks, I will do that, and it'll be done, and I can cross that thing off of the list. The sock yarn blanket, I think I did another couple squares a couple weeks ago on a VKN, but haven't really worked on that since. Okay, finished objects. Well, I have a finished object, but I already shipped them off. Remember those mittens that I made for my friend with the little pocket? Well, I made another pair for her, and I shipped those off to her, and she's received them, and the pocket is the perfect placement now. I think the first time I put the pocket on the palm right here, and when she got it, she's like, it doesn't really work right there. We had thought that that would work, but once she got it and tried it out, it didn't work as well as we thought. So I moved the pocket up to the fingers, and she says that is great. So she's actually got the new mittens, and she's using those, and she's going to ship back the other ones, and I'm going to move the pocket on the first pair so that they are more in line with, how she likes it. But yeah, that's the only finished object other than my my transitioning to winter, my first project that I did when I was testing the pattern. I still haven't done the tutorial on blocking, but again, you guys aren't going to see that tutorial until after the end of the knit along anyway, so it's not that important that I get that tutorial done right away, but I just want to see it blocked. So I need to get that done. I'm hoping maybe I might be able to get that done this weekend, but with everything else that I need to do this weekend before going to knit in the mitten next week, I'm not sure if it's going to get done. We'll see what happens. Well, I did work on Sammy's Modern Log Cabin blanket. However, I didn't bring it over here to show you. I'm still on the first square. Every time I pull it out, Sammy wants to sit on my lap. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about that yarn. She absolutely loves that yarn. That's the Premier Yarns Deborah Norville collection. Every day, I think it is. So she's going to love that blanket when it's done. I may be bringing it to knit in the mitten with me, but I'm not sure yet what I'm going to bring as my projects to knit in the mitten. That's a pretty simple project, but it requires a lot of bulky yarn to bring. But maybe I will still be able to bring that. Okay, so let's see what else do I got going. I have my featherweight cardigan, and I'm hoping that I'm not in the middle of a row. I can't remember if I stopped in the middle of a row. No, I didn't. So you're not going to be able to see much because I am working on the front. Oh, you're going to get up now? Cody's on my lap. I am working on the front band. So it's all scrunched up, but I got the bottom ribbing done. So that's all complete. And I've tried it on. It fits great. It seems a little bit narrow in the front, but I know that the ribbing takes up a lot of, the front panels. I was knitting this on my Haya needles, but one of the things that I got this week were the, and I didn't bring them over here, but they're the new, let's see if I have the, yes. Okay, so you've heard all the podcasters talking about these needles from eBay, okay? I decided to order them. I figured, you're going to stab yourself in the eye. Even if I don't love them, they are great for spare backup needles, or for if you're teaching somebody how to knit and you just want to give them a pair of needles to get started. They're great. I think I ordered a few sets. So these are the needles from eBay. Now the sizes are all Japanese, or I'm not sure what. They're all in a different sizing mechanism or sizing chart. So you kind of have to use your needle gauge to figure out what size they are, and they might still be slightly different, but they're close enough to the normal sizes. So I've been using them on my featherweight, and let me tell you, the needles make all the difference. The Haya I was knitting with before, are very pointy. In fact, I think I still have my needles in here. Yeah, I'll show you the difference between the two. Okay, so the needle on the right is the new needle, and the needle on the left is the Haya needle. And you see how much pointier the Haya needles are. And that works great for some projects, the pointiness. But this particular yarn seemed to be, this particular yarn seemed to be a little splitty. So having that very pointy tip was not the best thing. Also, the Haya needles are very slick, which again, I love, but because they were slick and because I was knitting so loosely with this yarn, I tended to slip my stitches off of my needles as I slid them, or whatever, as I was working. They slid off the needles a little bit more easily. Now, these new needles have a blunter tip, as I mentioned already, and the finish on them are not as slick as the Haya. Now, like I said, typically I like the very slick needles. I love the Hayas. But for this yarn and this project, with the gauge that I'm knitting it, these other needles seem to be the perfect solution. They just have they're not sticky, but they are stickier, more grabby than the Haya needles. So again, they've been working out well for me. Now these needles, I don't know if all of them do, but these needles have a slight bend. See that? And that does take a little getting used to, that bend in the needles. But it's not too bad. And you get used to it. It's a little harder on the socks, but on the bigger projects like this, it's not as bad. The join on them, fabulous. I mean, so worth I think I paid $5.69 for the set. I know that everybody's mentioned different prices for their sets. I think the price fluctuates, but $5.69 is what I paid, plus I think a 99-cent shipping. I think, I'm not 100% sure. But really awesome needles, especially if you're on a budget and you don't have a lot of needles that you can use. These are fabulous for that. And I definitely will be using these again. I'm sure that there are going to be situations like this featherweight in this yarn that I'm going to want a little bit stickier needles, but still not really bamboo, that I'm going to come to these needles for. So that's coming along. I have a few more inches on the collar or band. I've got about an inch done. I think I want to do about 2.5 to 3 inches. I have to see how it goes and how it looks and whatnot. But that is coming right along. Okay, so my next project I can't really show you because it is the companion to the transitioning to winter shawl, but I am working on my socks. I am up to the leg. I am working on the leg. I've got just a tiny bit done on the leg, but I have the first sock done, or foot done. I have not started the second sock yet. I think because there's a pattern on the sock, and it's not like a stockinette sock where I can just bounce back and forth and knit a couple rows on this one and knit a couple rows on that one. I need to make sure I stay on the right pattern row, so I have not been jumping back and forth between socks. I'm hoping that I don't get second sock syndrome by doing this, but we will see. I think because it's my pattern, it'll be a little easier. Anyway, I am working on this. I don't know how long it will take me to finish this one up before I start the second one, but it's coming right along. But I can show you my transitioning to winter shawl, because I have finished clue number 1. And here it is. And I love it so far. Of course I do. I just did clue number 1 because the second clue has not been released yet. Actually, technically it has now, but you're not going to see this until Saturday anyway. But I didn't want to post it just yet. So I've only done clue number 1. I plan on working on starting clue number 2, maybe later today. I still have quite a number of steps that I want to get in today. So I don't know if I'll do any knitting this evening after I finish recording, but probably tomorrow, and maybe sometime this weekend. I don't know. I just have so much to do before leaving for Knit and the Mitten next week. Which reminds me, the second clue is already out, obviously. You've already seen that. The next clue will be out around about November 11th. Probably on the 11th. I may not push it out quickly. Like today I released the second clue a little early because I know that the first clue went really quick, and plus the girls in Australia, they're like 15 hours ahead of us, so they get up in the morning and they want to start on their project. So I did go ahead and release that early, but I think because chart number 2 has 3 repeats, that'll keep people busy for a while. So the next clue will come out around November 11th. I'll probably, I might release it in the evening on the 10th, my time, which will be almost the 11th for the Australian girls. But we'll see how that goes. The pattern will go up in price to $6 on probably next Monday or Tuesday. So if you haven't purchased it yet and you're thinking about it, get on over there and purchase it for the $3 before the price goes up to the normal price of $6. And what else? Oh, I'm also working on some more basic socks. And I have one up to the heel done. Oops, extras, needles flying everywhere. One up to the heel. This is Into the World sock yarn, and I don't have the ball band here, so I don't remember the colorway. You can check it out. In fact, I don't even think I've started a project page for this. Maybe I have, but I don't think I've linked the yarn. But I don't think it's supposed to be self-striping, but it kind of is doing a little self-striping, which is kind of cool. It's kind of got a little bit of an angle to it, which is neat. Actually, yeah. But it is kind of self-striping a little bit. I really like it. I love the blue. It's got this a very similar blue to the blue that was in that Hobgoblin from Blue Moon Fiber Arts that I did a few weeks ago. So I'm really enjoying this. This sock is up to where the heel goes in. And just today, I started the second sock. And on this needle, I'm using my Hiya-Hiyas, but this needle, I'm using the other eBay needles just because I wanted to try them out. And again, they are a little stickier than the Hiya-Hiyas. Actually, when I first went to put the needles in my sock, I really did not like this tiny bit of grip on these needles, but I decided I wanted to be able to give them a full chance. So I kept them in, and I've been working with them, and actually I've kind of gotten used to it a little bit on these socks. But then when I started using my Hiya-Hiyas on the second one today, yeah, I really noticed a big difference. We'll see if I need to switch back over to the Hiya-Hiyas on the second one or on the first one. I'm hoping that my stitch gauge is not different based on the different needles. We'll see. I'll kind of let you know once I do a little bit more of this one. This one's so tiny right now that I would not even know if it was different. So I've been working on those. I have been doing a bit more walking again, so I'm trying to work on my socks when I'm walking. So hopefully I will get some more socks produced, some more stockinette socks produced more quickly. The last time I recorded, I had finished spinning my loop bag, and I had not taken it off the bobbin yet. But I have taken it off the bobbin, off the bobbin, and here it is. Let me see. It turned out fabulously. I really love it. You're not getting the full color because those purples and blues, for some reason, that camera just doesn't show the blues and purples very well. But let me just twist it up so you can kind of see it a little bit easier. There you go. I really like how it turned out. There are some spots that are a little thicker than others, but honestly, I think once I get this knit up, you're not going to be able to tell. I really love it. I have no idea how much yardage I have. I just took it off the bobbin the other day, soaked it, and started to do the wraps per inch thing before I wound it off the bobbin, but then I thought, no, I think I have to soak it first. So I don't know the wraps per inch, and I didn't count the wraps around the nitty knotty, so I have no idea how much yardage I got. I really need to check that because I'm real interested to find out how much yardage I got. This was I think it was 5.2 or 5.3 ounces. So that is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, plying it. The spinning, I'm not sure. It was a lot more work than I had anticipated. because the merino fiber was a little stickier than some of the Polwear silks and the BFL silks that I have been knitting or spinning. But I really love the outcome. I do have 2 more loop bats that I will be spinning up. Maybe not right away. I do want to finish my Fiber Nymph Knitopia colorway so I can get that all plied up so I can start knitting on that sweater before Knitopia. And I also have the rest of my Into the World from a number of months ago. I've been working on that at the office, which I haven't been really spinning on. So there's my spinning for this week. I was going to do another book review for you guys today. However, I don't feel like I've looked at the book enough to give it a proper review. So I think I'm going to put it off until the next time I record. I think that's the best thing. So book review the next time I record. So let's talk about the stash enhancements. I have a lot of stuff, and you probably, for some of the stuff that I bought, you're probably going to be like, huh? What? I'm still questioning it myself, actually. But let me talk about the stuff that I bought that is no surprise at all. Okay, first of all, I have some new yarn that was kind of, I wasn't able to buy when Linda, and I can't remember her Ravelry name off the top of my head, showed this yarn. She's making the Transitioning to Winter shawl with this yarn. And she posted it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that yarn is gorgeous. I said, would you mind if I bought the same yarn and made the same shawl? She lives in the UK or something like that, so I seriously doubt we are going to run into each other wearing our shawls. So I ordered this yarn, and I'm making my Transitioning to Winter. I've already showed you that one with this yarn. And I bought 4 skeins, hoping that I will have enough to also knit a pair of socks with as well. So we'll see. Maybe, maybe not. And because I was already placing an order and, you know, the yarn was reasonably priced, I thought I needed to have more yarn, so I bought this yarn. Oh, by the way, this is Drops Fable, and it's wool and polyamide, and I don't know what colorway it is. I think it's like a number. Yeah, color 109. There is 224 yards. Is that right? Yeah, 224 yards per ball. But I bought this, which is the same stuff. That's Drops Fable. This is the print. This says it's called Unicolor. So this is the same stuff though. It's 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and again 224 yards. Had to have it. I actually have some socks that I made with this that are green, that are like an avocado green print, and I love those socks. I also have more yarn, which I don't think you can see, but I have, I think, 2 more colorways in this yarn as well. So very excited about that little stash enhancement. And this yarn was very reasonably priced. Like, I want to say it was like $5, $4 or $5 a skein. So not expensive at all. Very nice. The next thing, which really I would have anyway, even if I didn't have new PayPal money, but I got my Into the World Club, and I actually squeed when I saw this. And it's not really showing well in the bag, so I'm going to try and take it out of the bag a little bit, but now I've got a knot. So hang tight. Let me see if I can get this out quickly. This is really cool. It's purples and grays. I am in the Luxe Club, so my fiber is Merino Bamboo Silk. Love it. And again, it's got purple in it, so you might not get the full effect. Actually, that's showing pretty true, at least on the little mini screen. So there you go. It's got multiple shades of gray, multiple shades of purple. Oh, it just looks like so much fun to spin. I'm very excited about this. I thought about trying to change to the regular club again, so I could have some different fibers, but I really love the Luxe Club the best, because they're all like bamboo silk and polar silk and I don't know, all the things that I love. So I'm staying in the Luxe Club. The next thing I purchased was from Never Enough Time, and I think she has a banner that usually runs down at the bottom of our group pages, and one day I clicked on it and I saw this. It is her Time colorway, and this little one is kind of a lavender purple, and this one is the green, a few different shades of green, and then a bit of purple. Now I don't know if it's self-striping or not. Either way, doesn't matter to me. I love the color. It's beautiful. It's Never Enough Time, and she has an Etsy shop at neverenoughtime.yarn.etsy.com. Fabulous. And with my order, I got this cute little pin with the sheep on it. Love it. I am very excited about this. I have, I think, one other thing of yarn from her, maybe two. I can't remember, but I haven't actually knit with it. And before I cast on my Into the World socks, I thought about casting on some of her yarn, but I've had the Into the World a little bit longer, so I decided to cast on the Into the World first. But I have this now, and I love it when they have these little heel toe ones, that you can have this little extra mini skein for that. That's so fun. So that's another thing that I purchased. And then I can't remember who was talking about it. I think it was Tammy from the Proverbial Knitter. She was talking about an Erin Lane bag that she got. And honestly, I don't know how I could not have had this bag before. Okay, first of all, I love the bag. It's pink. The fabric, it's pink. But it is one of her, I don't know what she calls it, but it has two pockets in the inside. You know how my sock yarn is always tangled every time I go to pull out and show you? Well, why had I never thought about having a bag with two pockets? I mean, that is like ingenious. I only got one bag, but I foresee more of these bags in my future. Most definitely. I mean, it's just perfect. Perfect sock bag. One little sock on one side, one little sock on the other side. I love it. I'm definitely going to be ordering more of these bags. And it's from Erin Lane Bags. I can't remember what she calls it. I don't know. You'll go there and you'll find it and you'll know. That's all I can say. I love it! I can't believe I'm not using it yet, but I wanted to show you first. So it's been in my stack of stuff to show you. But I will be transferring my my sock project into this bag because I am so excited about it. Okay, the next thing I got, a couple weeks ago I was down to zero on my video podcast, and I was working on my audio podcast, and I don't know who talked about this. I'm pretty sure it was an audio podcast, but I go through them so quickly, and I don't always write things down. I just kind of remember things. But somebody talked about this book on a podcast, and honestly, really, I don't remember who it was. But it's called Sweaters by Hand. And the way they described this book, you know, they talked about how it talked about, you know, making a sweater. I mean, this is a really old book. But the way that they talked about it, the podcaster talked about this book. This book was printed back in 1988. Now, that's not really that old, but, I mean, you know, for nowadays, a lot of the patterns in here are kind of dated. But the book just sounded very interesting, and they said that there's a lot of good information in here about sweater knitting and whatnot. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go and see if I can find it. And I found it on Amazon for a reasonable price. I don't know how much it was, but it was in like their used books section. So I picked it up, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I am hoping to, you know, read it sometime soon and get some good information out of it. So that's Sweaters by Hand, Designs for Spinners and Knitters. I'm guessing this was a spinning, I think this was it was a spinning podcast that I was listening to that that talked about this. Honestly, I don't remember who it was that told me or was talking about it. The next thing I got was from a D-stash, and the reason it's from D-stash is because I just cannot get my hands on this yarn any way I try. But I have some Dancing Dog Dye Works. I have been wanting some Dancing Dog Dye Works worsted weight for the longest time, and I just can't seem to get it. I never know when the updates are. I joined the Ravelry group because I thought that's where all the updates were posted. I must be totally missing the, you know, the posts or something about when updates are happening. I think I follow Michelle on. I follow her on Instagram, thinking, okay, I'll get updates. I just can't seem to get the update. And then I found out there was an update yesterday. Anyway, I found this in D-stash, and I snapped it up because I want to use some. So I will be making, I'm hoping that I'm going to make turtle with it. That's what I had planned with the yarn that I wanted to order if I ever got a hold of it. So I probably will be making turtle. I'm still looking to get a few other colors, so I'm hoping that I will get lucky and find some more of this either on D-stash or somebody clue me in on how to get Dancing Dog Dye Works when the updates are. I thought at one point they were on Friday evenings, and I even had an alarm on my phone set so that I would remember to go and look. And either I had the wrong time, or I had Eastern time and she's Pacific, or something like that. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, I can't get it. I haven't been able to get it. It's just been crazy insane. You people out there, you Dancing Dog Dye Work fanatics, stop taking up all the yarn. Okay, now comes the stuff that you're going to look at me funny. And really, honestly, I'm still wondering what the heck I was thinking. Okay, I don't know which to show you first, because they're both like, yeah, I don't know. Again, I was listening to a podcast, and somebody mentioned these needles. It's the Knit Picks double pointed needles, the 4-inch length. Now, first of all, I don't typically like to use wood needles. And I don't typically use double pointed needles for socks or anything like that. All my socks are on magic loop. But I thought if I had these needles, because I can't remember, it was a podcast. I think it was audio. I'm pretty sure it was audio because if it was video, I would have a visual face to remember it by, but I'm pretty sure it was audio. It was either audio or I wasn't actually physically watching the podcast when they were talking about it. They talked about these needles for toys. And I know I don't make toys. But I thought if I had the right equipment, maybe I would like to make toys. So I bought these. I bought these needles in hopes that if I do ever make toys, I will have the right tools to do it. And they are with the Sunstruck. I thought about getting, I think they also come in the Harmonies, but I thought that that would be a little bit too wild and crazy to be knitting with. So I got the Sunstruck, and they range in size 0 to size 4. They're 4-inch needles, and there's a set of, actually, there's 6 of that one. Oh, they're all 6. Yeah, they come with 6. Usually a set comes with 5. So, yeah, it comes with 6. Interesting. So, that's one of the crazy things that I bought in the last few weeks. And here's the next crazy thing. Now, I know who I heard this from on. Joyce, who does the Aussie Yarning podcast a few weeks ago, was talking about Arn and Carlos. I don't know what I was thinking. But I got this book about knitted dolls. I just thought it was so cute. If I ever like to knit toys, actually, I just like the book to look at. But they have all these cute little clothes. You can knit yourself a doll and then knit clothes to go on it. How cute is that? How could you not want to do that? Look at that. Look at that cute little doll with her little ski set on. The book is adorable, and I just like it just to look at it. Maybe one day I'll get motivated and knit a doll and then knit all this cute little knitted garments for it. Who knows? But the book is really cute. It's knitted dolls, and it's by Arn and Carlos, and it's just absolutely adorable. Joyce reviewed this book and I think the Christmas balls book. I even thought about getting the Easter balls book, but yeah, that's just craziness. So it's just so fun. Here's a page with all of them on it. I just think they're adorable. If I ever knit them, I have no idea if I will ever knit them, but I have the book if I ever want to. If I ever want to be crazy enough. And then at the same time that I was shopping on Amazon and I bought that book, I saw this book, which again is more knitted toys. It's Knitted Fairies. But again, it's the same type of thing. They were so cute that I'm like, how can I not buy this book? Look at that. I mean, they're just adorable. And what I like about this book, they have these little, let me see if I can find a close-up picture. See the eyes and the mouth on there? I'd be like, there's no way I can make that. But in the book, they give you little templates on how to make the eyes and the mouth. Anybody could do this. Anybody with patience. I'm not sure I have the patience for it, but I think they're adorable. I think they're absolutely adorable. And if I ever get motivated, like I said, I'll have some cute little fairy toys along with my knitted dolls. So, yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy shopping. I almost forgot one thing. It was on the floor. That's what Cody was scratching on when I started the podcast. And I forgot this one because it was on the floor. But I got some more Leading Man Fiber Arts. This yummy goodness. And that is not showing the right colors on the screen. This is more of a teal color. In the screen it's showing a bright blue. Although I kind of like the way that it looks on the screen too. I got this from Leading Man Fiber Arts, Steve. This is their Show Stealer base. This is the Super Merino Nylon Cashmere. And you'll know that I just made some socks with his yarn and loved them. Now that was the Show Stopper base. This is the one with the cashmere. Oh my goodness. You need to have some of this yarn. It is fabulous. I have a little project in mind for this. We're going to see how it all works up. I'm hoping that it will work up the way I anticipate. But I am very excited to be using more of his yarn. I loved doing the socks, and I know that I'm going to love using this yarn, this cashmere. Oh my gosh. I think I have yarn with cashmere in it, but this is just luxury. I'm telling you. Again, it's the Show Stealer base. It's Superwash Merino Nylon Cashmere. Fabulous. Okay, now for some drawings. Yes, we have lots of drawings today. We will start with the drawing for the ebook for Hitch. The thread's been opened, or actually it's now been closed. It's been open for a couple weeks, and now I'm going to do the drawing. Actually, I already did the drawing, and that goes to number 12, and that is UC Socks. And there's no name, so I don't know who that is. So get in contact with me, and I will get you in touch with the person who will be sending you the ebook for Hitch. Congratulations, that is a fabulous book from Cooperative Press. The next drawing is for A Good Yarn. Last time I did the podcast, I reviewed the store in Sarasota, which the pictures just are fabulous, and I've already had invites from 2 people who live in the area to come down and stay with them and go to that store, and by all means, I'm taking you both up on it. Even if I stay with one for a couple days and stay with the other for a couple days, I am going to do it. It probably won't be next year or maybe the following year. Who knows? But I definitely want to go to that store because it just looks so awesome. And it will be a good reason to go yarn shopping, even though I don't really need to yarn shop. Anyway, so somebody is going to win their own skein of one of the custom colorways for A Good Yarn. And that is number 94, and that's Big D, and that's Diane. So congratulations, you get to choose your customer colorway from A Good Yarn. So I think I have to put you in contact with the owner of the shop. I will find out about that. But she's going to ship it directly to you. So get in contact with me. Let me know that you've seen this on the podcast. And send me your address and the colorway that you want. And I will forward all of that information on to the person who will be shipping it to you. Congratulations. You are going to love any colorway that you choose from them. And the next drawing is for the podcast comments for Knitting Blooms. Remember that if you post a comment on the Knitting Blooms podcast in iTunes, you get entered to win a $7 or less giftable pattern on Ravelry. And each month, at the beginning of the month, I draw for a new winner. And I put all the names in this little bag right here. It says iTunes comments, and I will draw a name for a winner. And let's see who's it going to be. All the new people have been put in here, just so you know. one right here. And it goes to Jules999. And actually, I just read her comment today. I was reading some of the comments that are in there. So congratulations, Jules999. Get in touch with me and I will send you a giftable pattern of $7 or less on Ravelry. So congratulations. I will have to mark that on my page here when I am done. And now I have a impromptu drawing. If you have been chatting in the Mystery Cow, the Transitioning to Winter Mystery Cow thread, I think at the beginning of that thread I mentioned that there might be an impromptu drawing from that thread, so get chatting. And I decided that I was going to do drawing this week. And I have a winner, and it's for $7, a giftable pattern on Ravelry for $7 or less. Now, let me tell you that this first winner is not going to be held to these standards or these rules, because I didn't put it out there. I didn't tell anybody this before. But in the future, for the next 4 weeks, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do a drawing every week for a giftable pattern on Ravelry for the people that are participating in the knit along, and I'm going to draw a random number from that chatter thread. Now, from here on out, you must have a pattern page set up in your projects for the Transitioning to Winter shawl, or you can't win. Okay, so you can chatter all you like, but if you don't have a project page set up, if I go to your project page and there's not a project page set up for Transitioning to Winter, then I'm going to go to the next number. It's not that hard. Just set up a project page. So, chat in the thread as much as you want, comment, whatever, and I'm going to draw a name each week for a free pattern. But because that information wasn't out there before, I'm not going to hold this person accountable for that, because I know she doesn't have a project page set up. So I'm hoping that she'll go and set up a project page after today. But the winner is number 247, and that's Jackie Knits, and that's obviously Jackie. So congratulations, Jackie. You have won a pattern of $7 or less on Ravelry. So just get in contact with me and let me know which pattern that you would like. And congratulations to all the winners. I'm really enjoying all the chatter in the thread for the Mystery Knit Along. I never thought that it would get this chatty, but I love it. I'm really enjoying it, and I love seeing everybody's progress and them talking about the yarn they're using and what have you. And I hope it continues from here on out to the end of the cow. It makes me want to make every one of my patterns Mystery Knit Along. I know that's not going to happen, but it's so much fun. Okay, so the other knit along that we have going on right now, or that starts November 1st, because technically today's October 31st, but on November 1st, you can cast on for your North Cabin Fiber Crafts knit along. Remember, the last couple of months, we've had a discount code to order out of Lori's shop, and we can cast that on as of November 1st. So get your needles ready and cast that on. And again, it's going to run from November 1st through December 31st. And just, I think I have a chatter thread set up, so just start chatting away in that thread. Post your progress. Tell us what pattern you're using, what yarn you're using, what fiber you're spinning, and so forth, and you can get a chance to win. Again, there is going to be, I think I have a braid of fiber and a project bag, and then there's going to be at least one gift certificate to her shop as well. So get working on those projects as well. That goes right alongside with the Mystery Knit Along. So, but the Mystery Knit Along will only be until the end of November, and then the North Cabin Fiber Crafts lasts through December. Which brings me to our next knit along. I have been wearing my colorwork mittens this past week, and I think it's time for another colorwork mitten knit along. I had not planned on doing another colorwork mitten knit along, but I am really enjoying my mittens, so I think that it's time for another one. So I think after the mystery knit along is done in November, starting in December, from December to the end of January, I think that we should do a mitten knit along, a colorwork mitten knit along with fingering weight yarn. So find your projects, get your yarn ready so that you are ready to cast on December 1st. It can be any, in the past 2 years it's been only patterns by Valerie Woodworth. But this year, it's going to be any colorwork mitten of your choice, any designer you would like. So find your pattern, get it all ready, get your yarn, dye up your yarn, whatever you're going to do, and let's get ready to do some colorwork mittens come December 1st. And that's all I've got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the show today. I hope you enjoyed all of my stash enhancements and all my crazy spending this time. I am headed to Knitting in the Mitten next week, so I will hopefully post the show before I leave. That will be Wednesday morning. I might even post it Tuesday night. It's going to be a tutorial. I'm not sure which tutorial yet, or what have you. It's going to be something, because I won't be recording a show next week. And maybe I'll record a bit at Knit in the Mitten, and then on Monday or Tuesday when I get home, I can also post like a recap of that. So you'll get an early episode, and then you'll get kind of a late episode. So I don't know how that's going to work. But anyway, so I am off to Knit in the Mitten, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye for now.
Do you have a favorite fall scent? We know that a lot of Barmaid's customers do. For example, Betty Boop has been a top seller for the last 9 years. It is a mixture of bitter, orange, and orchid. It sounds a bit floral, right? But Betty Boop is not floral. She's actually quite spicy. Little Pumpkin also has its very devoted fans, with its fresh from the oven top notes of buttery pumpkin not to be outdone by the middle notes of cloves and allspice. Hot Toddy, which was introduced last year, was such a hit that he's back. Hot buttered rum, oh yum. Then there's Queen's Bun, a custom scent made exclusively for Jimmy Bean's wool. Can only be described as cinnamon buns fresh from the oven and delicious enough for royalty. If your local store doesn't have these in stock, ask them to special order them for you. Otherwise, order them online at www.bar-maids.com.